Hi, I'm Gail and welcome back to lowcarbrecipe.ideas.com. Today we're going to make a Paleo Pullman bread. Now this is a cookbook that Kelly Herring has. It's Healing Gourmet. Now she's just amazing. The recipes are amazing that she produces. Now her background is in science and she seems to know what works with what when it comes to baking, which is really, really awesome, and it's something that I'm really excited to share with you. So I want to make this Paleo Pullman bread. Now with her recipes, her recipe books, you also get Better Breakfast recipe book, and you get crust crackers and crisps. So it's just so exciting to share it with you, and I'm hoping that you'd be interested and maybe possibly buy one of the books off my site, because actually this is the only way that I can make enough to keep my site running, because it does cost quite a bit to have the site on the go and doing the recipes to share with you guys. So anyway, let's get started, and we're going to do this Paleo Pullman bread, and I'm excited to show you. Now, like I said, Kelly seems to know the science behind how things really work. So we're going to go exactly by her recipe to see how it turns out. Now, the first thing I need to do is I need 3/4 cup of almond flour, and she's got in brackets 80 grams. So because everybody, their measurements are all different, so if we do the 80 grams, we should be safer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to turn on my scale here, and it's at 0. So I'm just going to put my cup on here. It's 43 grams for that cup. So I'm going to take off the cup, and now I'm going to scoop to see what weight I get. That's 94, so I have a little too much in there. So I'm just going to take my tablespoon. I'm going to take out some of it. Okay, see if we get a little wee bit more. Now, I'm just going to zoom in. Sorry. And you can see I have 80 grams of almond flour. So I'm just going to put this little dish on here, and it shows that it's 51 grams for that dish. So now I am going to shut that off. It's back to 0. I'm going to put in my coconut flour, and I want it to be 20 grams. Almost there. There we go, 20 grams. Can you see that? Okay, so that's the amount that we need. Now with her measurements, it says that it's 1.5 tablespoons of coconut flour, but that is more as far as I'm concerned, because I'm calculating the grams. So you should go by her grams to make this really work. I need 3 teaspoons of psyllium husk powder. Now when I buy mine, I have trouble finding it is what they classify as powder. So I buy my if we can see it here, my psyllium, and in bulk, and I put it in here. But what I did was I took it and put it in my Ninja, and I ground it all up fine as possible. And I needed 3 teaspoons or 9 grams, which I've already measured, and I've got it all set to go. We're just going to take a small bowl, and we're going to put all the dry ingredients in. So it's the 80 grams of almond flour, the 20 grams of coconut flour, or 1.5 tablespoons, but she really recommends doing the weight, and I'm going to go do it perfect to make this turn out perfect. 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. And everything you're going to find that Kelly has in her recipes is organic. She is very right extreme healthy, which I wish all of us could afford doing that, because it would be so much better for us than having all these bad pesticides and stuff, chemicals coming off of the stuff, the products that we use. So gradually I'm working on it, but it's still very difficult to do that. And I have 9 grams of powdered psyllium husk, which is, and it's organic also, 3 teaspoons, 9 grams. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of mix this all up so it's all mixed together. Then I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to work with, I got a little lump there, there we go, work with the wet ingredients. So now I'm going to put the next bowl in here, and I have taken, I need to combine my eggs and apple cider vinegar together. So I have 3 eggs plus 1 egg white. So I'm going to put that in the bowl, and I will save my egg yolk that I have, and I'll have it for breakfast. Because actually yesterday was kind of silly. I only needed the egg white and I discarded the egg yolk, and I shouldn't have, because here I am using it today. So now we also need 1 tablespoon of organic apple cider vinegar. So we're going to whisk this together. Then we're going to stir in the dry ingredients. So I think I've got that mixed quite well. And I'll grab myself a spoon. And we're going to stir in the dry ingredients. Now the only one problem I might have with this recipe is that my loaf pan is a little bit larger than her loaf pan. So that could possibly make a difference. Now she says you need to have the exact size she has, because then you get the right height to get your bread. So mine might not be as high as hers, which kind of sucks, but I don't have the right size, so I'm going to improvise, and hopefully you at home have the correct size. And that is 7.5 by 3.5 is what the size that you need to have. Now since I've got this mixed well, I have to put in 1/4 cup of hot water, and we just have to really stir. Now the description is that the batter will be thick and sticky like oatmeal, and that's exactly what I'm getting. But I think because my pan is 1 inch bigger all the way around, that I'm not going to get the height like Kelly does in her bread. But this definitely will give you the idea of how the bread looks and how it will. And I can give you, I can sample it and let you know what my feelings are on the flavor. Okay, so now we're going to take my pan, and my pan is, like I said, 1 inch bigger than all the way around than hers. It's supposed to be 7.5 by 3.5 inches. So what I've done is I've buttered the whole pan. And like I've explained before in a couple of my other videos, I shouldn't be using Teflon because I don't think it's healthy, but I don't have the other kind yet, so I'm persevering in using it. And then I cut a piece of parchment paper, and I'm just going to put it in the bottom so that it will help come out a lot easier. So we're going to put in our bread mixture. And it sure doesn't look like very much when it comes to this pan. We'll get a spatula and we'll scrape out as much as we possibly can. So we have lots in here. And that is a big warning that she says you need to use the right size pan to make this work. Okay, so I'm just going to spread it around. That's amazing to think that this is going to get as high as it. I know it's an inch bigger, but wow. Okay, just shake it around a little bit. All right, so now what we're going to do is I've got my oven at 350 and I'm going to put it in the oven for 35 minutes or until my toothpick comes out and it's clean. So let's see what happens. So here is my Paleo Pullman bread. Now, my pan was too big, first of all, so it didn't get as large as what it does in the picture in Kelly's recipe. It is more like it's a brown bread, whereas in hers it was definitely a white bread. Now, I think buying the psyllium powder is better than trying to grind up your own husk. I'm sure that makes a big difference in this recipe. But oh my goodness, I don't even have a full loaf left because my family has been busy eating them. They're slapping butter on it and just going crazy. So if you can see that, there's the loaf there, and the taste is wonderful. It's really good. I'm impressed. In Kelly's recipe book, she explains so much, like it's amazing, of what you can use with water, substitute this for that, and she just has really good descriptions on what to do with these recipes. So on my site, lowcarbrecipe.ideas.com, I do have the cookbook for sale, and they also, with this cookbook, Better Breads, you also get Better Breakfast cookbook, and you also get crust, crackers, and crisps recipes also. I'm really impressed. I have another one of her cookbooks on my site. So go to lowcarbrecipe.ideas.com, try this recipe and try some of my other ones. She has 25 breads and biscuits on this recipe book plus all those other ones. So we will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye now.